Hey friends, welcome back. We are going to harvest the ginger and then I'm going to show you how I'm going to preserve it. That way it's quick and easy to use as I need it. So, just going to dig it out. I can't lift the bag and dump it. I can't lift anything heavy. So, I'm going to dig in with my hands and get out the ginger. Got some weeds. This, we have to be careful with this because this is actually a plant that I'm using this bag to overwinter in. So kind of a dumb idea on my part to put it in here. I was looking for empty bags and I didn't think this ginger was going to grow because I hadn't done anything when I planted this. And then the ginger started growing and I was like, oh, well, they're going to be sharing space and I'm going to have to harvest ginger very carefully to not harm this, which I hope it makes through the winter. You'll see what it is in the spring. I can't wait. We're just going to say that's good. Don't want to disrupt this anymore. This one, we don't have to be as careful. Yeah. So this is corn that got planted. I'm going to blame the chipmunk. The chipmunk's been planting all kinds of things for me. This is just a weed. All right, let's just get in here. All right, I think we've gotten everything out of this one. So the first time I grew ginger, I watched a video over how deep, what direction, and all that kind of stuff. I wanted to know those details before I just stuck ginger in the ground. So I watched Epic Gardener and his video, and he said the important part about planting ginger is that it doesn't need to be deep, it needs to be wide, because they're going to spread wide. So I had really good luck growing ginger last year with just shallow and wide containers. And I find this very interesting that the root coming off of this is so long. But it does spread wide. But that root though, wow. But nothing was growing off of the root and spreading that way. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out. I did not need a container this deep to grow the ginger, but it's just what I had open out here in the garden. It's windy outside, so my hair's going everywhere. It's a really nice day, though, for being November. I'm just feeling, I don't have to feel all the way down because ginger is not going to grow that deep, but I am just feeling around to make sure I didn't miss any. Okay. Oh. I planted some ginger in these little shallow containers as well because I needed the space for them. And again, they're shallow, not wide, so we'll see how they do in here. Let me zoom in for you. got my nail scrubber because, oh well. All right, so we're going to use these roots. But basically with ginger, all these crevasses are going to have dirt. So you can scrub all you want, but you're going to have to, watch. Okay, look. You can try to scrub here and here. But no matter how much you scrub, look what's in between them. You wouldn't have been able to scrub in there. So you have to break your ginger apart. It just, part of it takes a little bit longer. So we're going to do that. We're going to break apart, scrub between every little bit. Another point I want to make before I get too far in the cleaning, separating process is look, this, see the dark? This is what I planted, and this is part of what it grew. At least a piece that hasn't broken off. I don't know if it grew more. I mean, I would hope that it would have grown more, but that's how it grows. One of these little knobs, eyes, whatever you might call it, I don't know, will just grow another piece off of it, and then it will grow a stem upward for photosynthesis. So, very cool. And I planted this. This is not rotten. So whatever I plant, I get to use. I can still use it. So I'm not out any. Plant some, get some, and keep what I planted. You know, like with a potato, you plant a potato, and then you don't get that potato back. You just get whatever it makes. So, win-win. All right, so we got some turmeric that didn't do anything. My organic turmeric that I bought. Yeah. So, I'm not going to believe that's organic if it didn't grow. Roots, really long roots, we're going to use them just the same. I'm going to show you real quick. Here's what I planted. Here's what the planted stuff grew. I had more last year, but for some reason the ginger and the turmeric, but especially turmeric, but anyways, the ginger was late to sprout and get moving, so I didn't even think any of it was going to work. And this is ginger, organic ginger from the grocery store. If you go online and you look for seeding ginger, it is extremely expensive, ridiculous, stupid expensive. And I was like, I'm not buying that. That's ridiculous. So I just wanted to see what the store stuff did in it. And you plant the store stuff, all of it is still good. You get to use it and not lose it. And you gain this. So there's no loss here. I might cut off a couple darker spots, a little bit softer there, but I will literally just cut like a little smidge off right there. I'm not considering that a loss. And we gained all this, so it's awesome. All right, let me show you what we're gonna do now. Food processor. So you could chop them up real small, dehydrate them, turn them into ginger powder. But for like, okay, so that'd be long term, but for like refrigerated or sitting out room temp to use fresh or refrigerate, I don't know how long they'll last. So what I want to do is I want to chop it up real small, like a ginger paste, like you buy at the grocery store, and then I'm going to freeze it into little portions. So whenever I'm cooking something, I'll just take one or two of those little frozen balls, pieces, whatever, and throw it in the dish, and boom, there you go. Or if I want to make some tea, then I'll just throw a couple in the hot water, and then I have some ginger tea with whatever else I might put in it, some honey. I don't know. I'm not a super huge fan of ginger tea, so I don't know how I would really make it. Let me get my food processor out real quick. This. And forgot. Put it on. That way. There we go. Now, do I want to use the shredder attachment like I do with cheese? No, I think I just want to blend it. Add some water. That'll work, yeah, and then the water will help kind of hold everything together when it gets frozen. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, that'll work. So if there's a little bit of dirt on some, I'm really not going to worry about it. Like, I spent enough time scrubbing it. I do not know how to store ginger so you can plant your own. You know, like when you harvest garlic, you only have to hold on to it for a few months and then you get to plant it again. So that's easy. But for ginger, I can't plant it again until May. So, and it's November. So I don't know how to store it and keep it viable for planting. So if any of y'all know, feel free to enlighten me, because I did try to look into it last year, and I really couldn't find any. I don't know if I was asking Google the wrong thing or if there's just not that info out there, which I find hard to believe because you can find info on anything on the World Wide Web these days. But I could not get my question answered. How to store your ginger so you can plant it again 6 months later. All right, let me get some water. Make sure this is turmeric. Yep, that's turmeric. And didn't rot or anything. You know, interesting. Mind blown. Okay, if all of this was in dirt, moist soil, the entire growing season, and it's perfectly good, not squishy, nothing wrong with it. Is that how you would, and same with this ginger. This ginger is not mushy at all, it's perfect. Is that how you would store it? What do you think? Yeah, I think I'm going to try that. Okay. All right, we're not going to blend it all. Here, let's blend. Let me add the water. Okay, I want to make sure I was clear on my brain mind-blowing moment. So, basically what I was trying to say was that if these were in the soil the whole growing season, growing ginger, chilling, not rotting, not drying out, not anything, they're perfect to use, then I could just put them like inside room temperature, like I'm at my grow station in the living room, and just put them in moist soil and keep them moist. And just, I mean, if they start growing, then I'll turn my grow lights on. But yeah, I mean, if they can store outside for the growing season, which is like 6 months, then why wouldn't they be able to store in the same condition inside another 6 months? You know what I mean? So, we have, I'm just going to save two to experiment with. And then I'll buy these same ones from Walmart and then do that in the future. So stick around, come back in the spring. We'll find out how these do. And yeah, so we're going to experiment with these two. I'll put them in some wet soil. Well, because I don't want to bring soil in from outside because it'll have bugs in it and bug eggs, and then they'll hatch inside, and then we'll have gnats and whatever else in here. So I do have potting mix in the garage that is in a container. So there shouldn't be any bugs in it, hopefully. So I'll do that. Let me finish this. I think this needs more water, and that'll help it form a solid ball, or I might use the ice cube trays. I don't know yet. Okay, so you can use a small cookie scoop and a sheet pan and try to make little balls. I think I'll go ahead and make little cubes in the silicone ice cube trays. Into the freezer they go. All right, we will check on those when they're ready. Brain farting. All right, let me find, I don't know what container I want to use to store these in moisture inside, so I'll figure that out and then I'll show you what we do with these, and I'll show you the ice cubes, and I'm just going to put them in the freezer bag afterwards and stick them in the freezer and use them as needed. Oh, and there's a lot of ginger left behind in all these containers that just couldn't scrape out, so I might add a little bit of water and try to get the ginger out and then try to make a ginger tea with a little bit of water. See if I like it. I don't know. think I'll simmer it for a little bit. I don't know. We'll try it. Definitely with honey. Okay, and this is what I'm gonna put the ginger in. So this is a Miracle-Gro potting mix that I have here, and I'm gonna get it moist because it's completely dried out. And this is just, I actually bought these on Amazon. It was a 12-pack for just organizing things. So actually this is what I have my measuring cups and measuring spoons in. My vitamins up here are in. Let's see what else. Whole bunch of stuff. I got 12 of them all over the house being used. So, or maybe 11 being used. Anyways, here we are. Let me add some water to it. I'll go ahead and link them on Amazon for you, just in case you find them useful or think they might come in handy for something. Okay, so actually, okay, I'll do this one. This one I'm going to let sit out for a day or two and let it heal from those fresh rips from me, which is fine. This one doesn't have any of that going on. Let me bring you in close so I can show you why I picked these two. All right, see these nubs here? That's where it's going to grow out, like an eye of a potato. They'll usually have nubs on these parts too. Boom, boom, boom. I know these three do. And then all these good looking nubs over here. And then maybe even right here. So I went ahead and just picked these two, and this can heal over. And they also didn't have, that's slightly mushy, but I'm not going to worry about it. It's only a little bit right there on the end. But yeah, these were good looking. These are one of the better looking ones that didn't have any issues. So just I'll put it on one side. Oh, I just made potting mix soup. Let me mix this up real quick first. Get the water incorporated because it's still dry up here. All right, that's better. It's good enough. Dig down just a bit. Probably about that deep. I'm gonna stick it in on its side because it's gonna grow out from the nub, and then it's gonna shoot up with its stalk. So you plant ginger sideways. The nubs facing sideways. Hey, you didn't know you're getting a planting tutorial today too, did you? All right, give this a day or two to heal over. I didn't let these heal over when I planted them in the spring, and they didn't rot. They were all fine. But I do want to give this the best chance at making it all the way to the spring so I can plant it. And I want this experiment to go well. So I'm going to let it heal before we do that. So I'll just set it right here with the boo-boo side up. And we'll worry about that in a day or two. Well, thanks so much for being here and taking time out of your day to see what I got going on. I hope this was helpful for you with just how they grow, how to harvest ginger, what to do with them once you do harvest them. So we're trying two ways. They're freezer, obviously. I know that's going to work, but I'll show you that. I'll probably just whip out my phone and show you what those look like whenever they've frozen in a couple hours. And then, this is preserving them in a way, but not for consuming, for planting later. So I'm super excited and I hope it works out. So thanks for being here. I'll pop up some videos for you to watch over here, and I will see you later. And I'll show you those ice cubes at the very, very end. So feel free to like and subscribe. Bye. Here, let's taste it. It tastes exactly like ginger and honey tea. It's wonderful. Have a wonderful day.